That's the way it is. America's coming back. We're going to take control of our country and our government. And unfortunately, the only option at this point in time isn't citizens with pitchforks. It will be the military option after lawful civilian authority is put into power as the American people voted for. And then that lawful civilian authority will administer the direction that the country goes through the military regaining control of these locations and facilities so that we can get our country back for American citizens' benefit, not for a bunch of globalist, pedophile thugs and Satan-worshiping thieves the way that they want it to be. With the things that are going to happen here shortly, the mainstream media, as it currently exists, is trying to program people's minds to think that what will happen, what must happen, is somehow the makings of a civil war, that it's somehow illegal or unjust. It's the exact opposite. It's not illegal or unjust. It is the lawful exercise of the people's will by the military, protecting the people's will in the Constitution. And to the extent that they would twist that, they become irrelevant themselves. They've picked a side, and it's against the American people. The new media that you represent, properly explaining this, properly putting it in perspective for people, you're valid because you represent reality, and you represent the will of the American people, and you represent the right of the American people to have that conversation and make it happen. The fact that we're going to come after these monsters and displace them out of office and take control of the country may not be pleasant and easy, but it's what has to be done. And in working that through, it's not a civil war, it's a revolutionary war. The attack came from foreign shores. America had a revolution against the bloodlines, the king, the Brits. And that's why the Constitution was written, this alliance, this coming together of the states against what had become a foreign enemy. Washington, D.C., in the way that it's administering against the American people, doing the bidding of foreign masters, promoting this false Russian collusion thing, and protecting a fake vote, a false vote, a digital Pearl Harbor against America, has become the enemy of the American people in the way it administers. And so we're in the middle of a revolutionary war against foreign entities taking over power and control in our country. That's America coming together against a foreign enemy. If you hear people saying that we're having a civil war, that we're destroying things internally, that, you know, we're supposedly going with pitchforks to do whatever, no, we're not. This isn't a civil war. And we're not going to burn down our own house to save it. We're going to catch those monsters by the tail, and we're going to throw them and get them. We're going to retake lawful authority of government operations in America, and we're going to do it through a legal, proper means, which is get the executive that we voted for.
We're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think, it's going to be really something special.
Back into office. And then that executive that we voted for is going to make the correct decisions to safely bring America back together again, and take it away from those who are illegal, who are unlawful, who are not the ones we voted for. And we're not going to burn our own house down. We're not going to tear it apart. Even if we have agent provocateurs that are put into our midst trying to pull it off, we, the American people, will pull them down off the buildings. We'll stop them clubbing the windows out. If they open up the doors to try and invite us to do wrong, we're not going to do it in mass. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people were there present at Congress on January 6th and never entered the building unlawfully. A handful that might have to look around with some agent provocateurs that did some mischief. Well, that's a little different story, but we're not going to fall for that. And we see how we're being baited to fall for that. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to support our military, the people that are our fellow citizens in these lawful positions, to go do what they have to do under the lawful authorities' direction as we take our country back. And that's not a civil war. That's a revolutionary war against foreign enemies operating on U.S. soil with treasonous, seditious, traitorous cooperation by some of Americans who themselves have shown that they don't deserve the title American.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Royal House of We the People, and we're waiting for Juan to join us. He should be joining us any second now. But I want to introduce Mike Likens, who's the host of our show and does everything behind the scenes, and then our queen from Brazil, Anna Marin. So want to welcome everyone for tonight. We're excited about having Juan come on. There's lots of things that are going on. If you're paying attention, President Trump, our commander-in-chief, has posted a number of things in the last couple days regarding military action because of the amount of fraud that's going on in our court systems. And many of the patriots around the world that are listening right now know that these courts are not our courts. They're foreign enemies, just as Juan just said in the intro. These are all British accredited register courts, and they are all run by the Bar Association. They're not our courts. So you can see that when President Trump does certain things, he puts things in a spotlight, and when they come out, they expose themselves, and that's 5D chess and this fifth generational war. For many of us that have been in this movement, myself all the way back to the beginning of November in 2017, just a couple weeks after the Q post came out from the Q military, that's when I got involved. And I knew that President Trump at that time, when he got inaugurated in January of 2017, when he said, we're not merely transferring power from one party to another or from one administration to another, we're transferring power back to you, the people. And that's when, excuse me, that's when General Flynn had on social media had us all take the oath to the Constitution to support our country and support the Constitution against all foreign enemies, foreign and domestic. And that's the biggest part right there, foreign and domestic. And when Juan comes on, we're going to talk about many of the foreign and many of the domestic enemies that are within our country. So as you guys are listening right now, we're kind of ad-libbing things right now because we're waiting for Juan, and Juan's a very wanted man. He's on so many different channels, and we're blessed to have him on. Mike, do you want to add anything based on what we're going to discuss tonight, or Anna?
No, I'm just eagerly anticipating, listening some updates that we've gotten from. Okay, all right, you're sharing a screen, Jim. Okay, but I think there's just so many things that are going on, and part of this war that we've all been facing. Is that 5D, fifth generational warfare that General Flynn has always talked about. and then navigating through that and trying to discern and try to avoid all these landmines that are out there, landmines of information, be it our media, be it grifters, be it podcasters that are just out for themselves. So we're all in this protective mode, but at the same time we have to look out for what is coming. And I think Juan's hinted many times, and it's no secret. It's not like he knows everything and he can't, he's going to put it out. There's some things that are lining up that are going to happen that we have to be ready for. But I think it's going to be a readiness of not a chaos like we saw in 2020, or it's going to be a very organized readiness, and it's going to come quick. I don't know what that looks like. I have no crystal ball to that. I'm not trying to give dates, or I'm not trying to, say that I know something that I think I know. All I know is that it'll be a 9/11 moment. It'll be something's going to bring us to our knees to really understand. Because one thing that I think we've talked about a lot, Jim, in the past is that I think we've all, we're going back to our little Disney bubble. I call it a Disney bubble. But we're all just kind of insulated now. It's like COVID's over, the election was stolen, but it's okay. We're all good. We're still good. Just don't talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. We got Thanksgiving coming up. I don't want to, disrupt my family. That kind of thing is the narrative that's out there. But I think overall, it's that's the awakening again that we're gonna have to come back to. And the Israelites did the same thing back in the day. They just didn't get it, and I think that's kind of where we're at.
Thanks, Mike. Anna, would you like to add in?
Yes, of course. Yes. Today, since the 22nd here in Brazil, we have unfortunately seen a disgusting situation that regards politics right now. And I think it's disgusting because we have a person, okay, who was elected to represent the people into 2018 after being stabbed, and he was imprisoned at home. And right now, today, he is facing 327 months. And all he has been saying to the people as a person, okay, because now he's not allowed to run again. He's not affiliated to any parties here in Brazil. And for the last 7 years, we have seen a lot of people looking at him as a kind of an idol, someone who was putting Brazil back in the game in a very glorious way. And this person represents a lot of people that I know. And despite the fact that I know about what we have been all listening for the last 7 years or 10 years, it's a very sad situation for many people. And we should never have someone representing us in public offices, and we should never have this kind of situation in front of us. And so the moment I see this, I don't see people bringing loyalty back to the conversation, and that should be a topic for the people to reconsider. And once again, we should start asking questions. And I don't know if people are really paying attention to what is happening, but it's something that is clearly a lesson to all of us, because this man, he's a father, he's a politician, he's a father, and I'm not his supporter, but he was stabbed. Okay, so you don't see someone being stabbed and just do nothing. Even if you don't agree with his agenda, you have to reconsider. So today he's imprisoned. I understand it in a different perspective, but many people still don't have any clue what we are talking about. So I send my consideration, I don't know, to those who are facing some kind of this letting go of their hope because of this. It's sad for many people. And at the same time, it's the opportunity to all of us to stand up and to start doing our work in our lives and not waiting for someone to come back and rescue us, because no one is coming. And although I said that for many years, now they are seeing this unfold, and still there are many people um, feeling sad and unhappy, and with the injustice system, the unjust legal system we are witnessing here in Brazil. Anyway, I don't know many details. I 117% trust the plan. So in my view, it's a way to open new doors and for us to start moving along. It's a necessary move, but still there are people who are feeling discouraged. And those are my concern. These people that don't know anything, and we have to unite with them as well. I don't want to sound too girly or too quirky in in my words, but we should always remember we are people, and we are human beings. First of all, at least I am a human being. I know we are dealing with monsters, right, Mike? We are dealing with many
Exactly.
monsters as well.
Yep. Yep. And I think the biggest thing when you look at the deception that's happened, and we see the things, all the, I think of the Charlie Brown episode where the football is thrown out from underneath him and he falls back, and that kind of rinse, lather, and repeat scenario where we keep falling into that same trap of, well, this guy's going to get indicted, and there's 60,000 or 600,000 or 6 billion sealed indictments. It doesn't matter. Not one of them's been unsealed, and we want justice, and we want justice for the stolen election of 2020. We want justice for, take it all the way back to the Kennedy assassination. We want justice for Abraham Lincoln being killed. We want justice for Jesus Christ being killed on the cross. I mean, that's, take it all the way back to that far, but that justice is a process that we're waiting for. We're waiting for that moment where we have so many different. We saw today or yesterday with James Comey. His indictment that came through. He was indicted, and the federal judge came in and threw it out, and which I think that's. But again, it just goes to that softening of it's ever to the people saying of discouragement, where this is never going to end. We're still
Yeah,
being controlled by the bad guys.
yeah. I believe that it's a necessary. Well, we need to. Some people say that I'm too happy, I'm too optimist, but I believe it's the only way to survive is to have your faith being alive every day in your life. So if I sound happy, if I truly believe me, I have my moments that most of my moments are reflecting on how the hell we got here.
Yep.
How did we allow to get here? And why is it so difficult for people to? This is something that I question myself. Why is it so difficult for many people to believe that good can truly be a winner? How can love can conquer everything? Because we all know this in our little universes, which are not little, but when we put it in a expanded view for the whole world, and it's the dream that everyone has.
Yep.
Everyone dreams with peace. Everyone dreams about being able to have your home, safe home, your beautiful home, your car, your work, and your ideas. And why is it so difficult that someone can believe it? And I believe that that's the whole point. We need to bring these scenarios, these scenes, for the people to, first of all, learn how we got here. Second of all, not trust what we see, but what we feel. And third of all, fight. But
Mhm.
be strong enough to fight without the arms, fight without being aggressive in the streets. Fight. It's not a fight, but conquer with love, conquer with elegance, with kindness. To put it together like we do our shows here. How you do, how each and everyone runs their own life.
Yep.
And yeah, I have this idea that Brazil is going into the near death experience along with United States, after United States, and it's really necessary for people to kind of click. It's a click because they all don't agree with what they are seeing.
Yep.
But it's a click to make the move. Don't you
Yep.
think? Am I
I think
right?
I think so, because I think one of the things that Jim and I were talking about yesterday in that same vein is that, there's so many conversations that happen that we have with people throughout the day,
Yeah.
because of the world that we live in, and at the grocery store, or just, we as truthers, and we put our hat on, and we're almost like incognito. We talk like this, but then we go out, and we survive in this world as well. So we're not protected in our little environment. But we know that there's certain things that's just not right. There's just a vibe about it, whether it's the energy, whether it's the our discernment, whether it's our spirit, whether what we know as truth has been so corrupted, and that birthing of truth again process is kind of, it is a true awakening, but it's a an element of fear to it as well, because we're not we have these truths that we grew up with as a foundational truth, and we're finding that is just kind of, we're walking on these pillars as they're moving, and we're changing a tire as the car's moving, kind of a feel. And so I think that's kind of the way I feel, in just, my day-to-day life of just living and working, because we all have our normal jobs that we do, and we have families that some are awake, some aren't awake, some don't want to hear it anymore because we've talked about it since 2020, and we just, it's too toxic right now, because everything that I've said was going to happen never came to fruition, whether it's the financial side of things, or whether it's, whatever the scenario would be. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's just kind of the mentality that or umbrella that I've been living with personally, throughout this whole, 6 years, 7 years, whatever, however long we've been going through this war.
Mhm.
So we've
Well,
done some.
200 in your case, in United States for 250 years.
Yep.
We have been going on 250 years. In Brazil, a little less, but it was very close to United States. It's a whole process that came together and came as a wave, and to destroy lives, not only in that time, but especially in this time.
Yeah.
And so this is and it's so important, and it's so special. We are it's in such a glorious moment, with all the struggles that we have every day. We all want to be Trump. We all, like we were talking about, we were all want to be like Melania. We all want to be like this teddy bear that you were presenting me, along with you. Yeah, here in Brazil,
The
people
Trumpy bear.
the Trump bear, exactly. Everyone wants to be Trump. So we need to, it's first here. First of all, it's with our heart that understand that we are child of Christ and we are as able as him is, as 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 brilliant as he is, and we have to do the small movements in our life so we clash with the movement with them and go with them, go with this. Everyone wants to talk about energy. Oh, you should listen to this frequency, you should dress like this, you should wear this kind of bracelet, da da da. Everyone knows that because
Yep.
you read, but most people, do they really, when they do they really are are they really connected to all this information in their daily basis, right? To embody and to,
Yep.
because Trump does that.
Yep.
And to be a leader, you have not to, he's inspiring.
Yep.
It's very, he's an inspirational and an educational process for us.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of Trump. It's not to be a fan of Trump. We know the good things and we can understand the bad things. We are all mature here.
Yep.
Hi Crank, we missed you.
Yeah, my power went out again. Oh my
Oh,
God. It's just, yeah. So we're still waiting, Juan. Um,
we were having a conversation about that everyone wants to be Trump, and we need to do the small movements inside of us so we clash with the movement and go along with this transformation, with this revolutionary war. It's a
Well,
real
it's in that.
revolutionary in our home, in our essence, in our house, in our body, in our home, and all around.
It's taking that spirit of, make yourself great,
Yes.
make your home great,
Make yourself
take,
great again.
make yourself great again, make. So it's embodying that spirit without capturing that, and I think I think here comes Juan right now. Hey, Juan's driving. Nope, he's muted. You're muted, Juan.
There we go. All
There you
right.
go. Testing, testing. He's
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Jim.
Juan, thank you for joining us. We were,
Yeah. This buzzer a second to go off. I've got stuff on the passenger seat that it thinks it needs a seatbelt on it, but it's not true. it'll have to ding for a second. And it'll
Is
go
it
off.
your turkey? Is it your turkey?
Yeah, now it's my cookies. It's my box of cookies. Yeah.
Well, Juan, we really
listen,
appreciate it.
we
Yeah.
just we just got done listening to Sheila Holm over there with Mike Jaco, and what a treasure Sheila is, and we're so pleased to be able to work with her as well. And her knowledge and her experiences are second to none. And I know there's a lot of things going on right now, Juan, and we have a lot of people that um, are really wanting to hear what's going on in DC. We know there's a lot of infiltration within the mega group, and what I want to do is just kind of turn it over to you and listen to what you got to say, because I know there's a lot of things going on in South America as well with Anna and Brazil and Argentina and Venezuela.
Well, and I have to power right through because I'm kind of racing to make it for another flight that I have to do, and so I'm trying to get a couple things done real quick before my next thing. And I wanted to get this in with you guys if possible, also. So here's the deal. Uh, my main focus right now is to get Tina um, out of jail while there's still health there. She's still viable. She's deteriorated significantly, even in the last month or two. And people that have seen her know that that's a very real thing. It's not just the mental stress of what's been going on with her, but physically, the food in prison, the tension, um, these ongoing intimidation and threats by other inmates over time. It is cumulative, and so there's, for any one of us, you would reach a breaking point. Most of us long before where she's at right now, and she's been patient. President Trump's called her a political prisoner. Everybody knows that's true. Uh, the state of Colorado is holding her. The people involved in this are holding her because they need her for a scarecrow um, against other people coming forward. And you don't want to be the next Tina Peters. That said, uh, the uh, the House is crumbling on election fraud, and we're getting more and more data now by the hour. Multiple courts now have actions that are maturing, including very important grand juries that are taking place right now, where in multiple of them, not just one, Tina is somebody who should be called on and available to be a witness in these activities, so in these actions. So bringing justice here for the country. So with that in mind, of how long will it be before we get there? As you know, everybody involved, all the key people were pretty comfortable she was out, going to be out on her birthday, and or before. And then it dragged down. It's going to be a few days, and then, well, we have this hearing that is a habeas corpus. Let's just go ahead and let that do the job it's supposed to do. And now we're dragging into weeks and weeks and weeks. And her health is visibly, when you're not feeling well and things are starting to go wrong, you can kind of be strained, stressed, not taken care of, and then you start to crash. And when you crash, you end up with multiple things um, coming off the rails, and one thing adding to another, to another, to another. Next thing you know, you're gone. Tina is in that kind of a situation at this point in time. And we don't have the luxury of taking the time, in my opinion, to get things finally in just the right position and matured and everything else. There's a certain moment where the only proper way forward is, as President Trump has already said, it's time to do something drastic. We're going to have to take drastic action to resolve this. And in fact, I don't even think we want to let um, any of the other people involved at this point uh, foist onto us that, oh no, the courts saved Tina. They stepped forward, they saw what was going on, and so they took action, and Tina was saved by the judge. Tina was saved by the courts. Tina was, they finally figured it out. No, at this point, they've made their bones. We just need to go in there and get her out of there and get her out of this hellhole that they've got her in, and do it decisively and quickly. And the president needs to own that action. That's my personal attitude. And there's a lot of other things going on. I mean, shoot, the situation in Venezuela is we're getting ready to take decisive action. The president's been trolling him steadily. Stuff in the financial world that most people in this audience have no concept of just how far along the road we are in things that President Trump has been putting into position for quite some time, and that are just going to change everything about your life. That's coming. Um, People need to kind of be aware of that, and not um, naive to the gravity of the situation where we're at right now as a country. And in the midst of all of that, as we move into some of these next actions, I I don't think we can afford as a people to be um, slow to act in behalf of this amazing patriot, Tina Peters, who, as a political prisoner, has suffered so greatly. What's a day of her life worth? She's 70 years old. She's a Gold Star mom. Her son Remington, Navy SEAL, Golden Knights parachute team, dead in service to the country. Um, we don't we don't allow Gold Star moms to be treated this way. We do not. There is no excuse, and that we now know more by the day, by the hour, about the way 2020 was stolen. President Trump over the weekend, he sent a message out on Truth Social talking about the fact that Tina Peters, uh, you know, found this information related to uh, the election stuff. That was her job. She found it. She brought it to the fore. She protected it. And uh, President Trump called it the rigged 2020 election. Okay, he knows. He has all the details. The people have come in and given him personally the information. In fact, when he wasn't getting stuff that was asking for from Homeland Security and from Justice Department, and he was pissed because he wasn't getting the information that he asked for. He called in the three amigos that had the direct information from exactly the people involved in this whole thing, the witnesses and the whole smear, and they personally briefed him this last summer when he was not getting it from the other sources they were supposed to get it from. And he knows exactly with excruciatingly fine detail exactly what occurred. Okay, that was months ago. How long do you got to leave Tina Peters in prison, who you know is a political prisoner, before you take action? There's a certain moment when it's appropriate to step in and be decisive. President Trump said he's going to take drastic action if they don't get her free, get her out of there. He's told even in the last few days, the people over at Justice Department figure it out and get it done. And something that should take minutes, not days, hours at the least, is still festering away. And the excuse is, well, we're looking to get it done one particular way. They were looking to get it done that particular way, honestly, seriously, 6 months ago. That's what I know it's what the desire, intent, plan is. No, we're past that. It's going to have to be something else because her health is crashing. And even though they got her back off the solitary thing, imagine the yo-yo that she's been going through. Uh, these things have their limits, and we're there. The cup is full. Stop it. Get her out. Save her life. Let's get it done.
Juan, you and I went back and forth a little bit on text messages, and my scenario, and Tina is very close to my heart because in my county we caught them with fraud, and we had a group of us. We went out to every precinct, and they were using felt pens, and we let the people know that those felt pens were not they're not they're not constitutional, nor are they lawful. um, there's so many other patriots I know that are out there that have gone through very similar circumstances and have had to deal with their local county and their sheriff and arresting and with their counties and school boards. So Tina Peters represents, in my eyes, every one of us. And I think she's a hero in my eyes. And I at some point, when do we take these courts down? When do we say enough's enough with these bar courts?
Well, the only thing I would say here in this case, there's certain fights that you do at certain times. And there's some stuff that's going to have to be addressed within the court system, the way it's being done. uh, even this homage to the Brits in much of the way we handle our courts is at this point, it was always unlawful and inappropriate. Uh, that cup is full also, and we're going to have to deal with that. But we don't have time to deal with that within Tina's case. The situation is clear. She's a political prisoner. She is a witness in crimes against the American people that will be dealt with federally and at Gitmo. Um, the president's been presented with several ways that he can do this lawfully and not put the law on its ear, not do anything completely wild, crazy, ridiculous. The people advising him, they're trying to say, "Oh no, no, no! This is we need to try to stay more conventional within what we're doing." No, you don't. We're in unconventional times. This is an unconventional moment. I've mentioned a couple of times over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, this movie, The Jackal, the second version, not the one from the 70s, but the more recent one with Richard Gere in it. And at a particular moment in the movie, which is the hinge point of the whole movie hinges around a 30-second exchange where the really bad guy terrorist has been in a shootout with several of the detectives that are tracking him. And one of them, a woman, a Russian agent, is mortally wounded. The other people are dead. And so she comes over, sees the wound, she's bleeding out, grabs her hand, puts it on her liver where she's bleeding, and says, "If you hold right here, keep the pressure on, you'll last 20 minutes, maybe. If the pain becomes too intense, just let go of the pressure. You'll be dead in a minute." Okay. But if you do live long enough to see this one key detective who's tracking her, that the name is Declan. If you do live long enough, just tell Declan, just remind him, you can't protect your women. And the reason that he says that is because this guy isn't going. He's not, he's never let them know. They think he's trying to kill the president. No, he's trying to kill the president's wife. And he'll have more leverage into the world, into everything by killing the wife than he would by killing the president. But he's doing a little coded message, you can't protect your women. Into our community, into America, into the world, there should be this understanding. If you can't protect someone like Tina Peters, you can't protect anybody else, everybody else. Somebody that's that vulnerable, that's that iconic and important. If you can't protect them, how are you going to protect anybody else? So uh, uh, that's why they've done all of this to Tina, is exactly that, to the devil himself. They want to make sure that even if you do somewhere down the road get justice, it's shallow, because you'll be sacrificed along the way. Do we need Tina Peters as some kind of a sacrifice? She was so right. We'll all go to the stadium, turn on the phone's lights, and wave them like candles in the wind. And thank you, Tina. And we all remember you. Bullshit. Get her out now. Figure it out. That's not coming off the rail. That's being real. Protect an American citizen who is a political prisoner. Everybody knows. Not just the good guys, the bad guys know. They're trying to make sure that nobody ever does this again, because their friends, their family, their children will all tell them it's not worth it. They can't protect you. They won't protect you. You'll just be sacrificed. I have heard that. I had a whistleblower 30 years ago who did something that was similar to Tina, and looked me right in the face at a particular moment and said, look, if I knew then what I know now, I'd have never done it. The American people, the senators involved, uh, they didn't matter. They didn't care. And the system, it's not going to change anything. I sacrificed my marriage, my kids, uh, you know, everything I had. And for what? It didn't change anything. It didn't matter. And those are very cutting words because actually what this person did really did make a difference. It did matter. It bought us a moment. It preserved some information that even now is going to affect the way things are done in these prosecutions. It just has taken this long to get here. Um, what the devil himself wants is this idea you can't beat City Hall, you can't beat the machine, you can't win. If they can have, even if some of the people go to jail, even if Tina gets out, but then is so compromised in her health, in her well-being, that she loses significant years of her life because of this, that still serves the devil and all of these people doing the devil's work within, you know, the frauds of leadership, people getting into office through election fraud. It serves all of them because it tells anybody else, do you want to be the next Tina Peters? That's why you work extra hard, especially someone this iconic, to bring them out of the torment, the torture, as quickly as possible. This is why we elected President Trump, is to come in and fix these things. And we're fixing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is about to be addressed. But if you're a day late and a dollar short, if Tina is allowed to be sacrificed on the altar of bureaucracy, it's not just a slight against the system or even President Trump. It's a slight against all of us who fought so hard, who even fought to get Trump into office and had a certain understanding that we were going to be protected. We were going to get our day in court. We were going to get the bad guys put away. Tina being one of them, that was going to be freed from under the grip of these, you know, literally political terrorists. And if you can't get her, if you can't get her out, even when you're in power, in office, then you look emasculated, and it makes us look weak. It makes the community feel weak, and in reality, you are weak. Power is only good if you use it. And granted, you hold back from exercising power. Sometimes wait till you see the whites of their eyes, all sorts of things. If Tina was in better health, maybe a little younger, whatever, maybe we'd have more um, latitude to let this play out and to get to her at the right time, and we'll work it out. But she is crashing at this point in time. And even if you get her out, moving, alive, breathing, talking, everything else, the damage is now escalating very, very quickly. We don't have the luxury, in my opinion, of um, being slow. And it's not right because it is a slight on us to not be able to figure it out fast enough to get her free. That's why I think, as far as I'm concerned, uh, nothing else. All sorts of things we got to do, we want to do, and election 2020 is so critical. Well, make Tina central to that. In that case, it's a life on the line right now in this torture chamber that they have her in. That's where I'm at. I mean, I don't want to drag it on and on. Everybody here knows what I'm talking about. I think you
So
just have to melt the emails, melt the phone lines to the White House. I don't want the governor of Colorado. I could care less about him or anybody else. The president is the only one at this point that can directly act. He needs to get the proper people on the phone and not let anybody off the phone to actually getting done. Figure it out and get it done.
why do you think, Juan, why do you think that this is taking this long? I mean, is this all political, or is there some type of thing that's going on in the war manual that we have to follow along? Why
Um,
the hell is this taking so
sorry,
damn long?
yes, sorry, I had a call coming in. The, I mean, I know what the excuses are, and there's a certain way that some of the people involved are vested. They see a particular way that they want to play this out, and it works within the system, and it works for certain things. Unfortunately, um, you know, still. I mean, that was the plan 6 months ago. That was the plan 3 months ago. That was the plan by her birthday. That's been the plan for now 9 weeks, and it's still not done. And then, well, and there is risk even after we get it done because Colorado could fight it and call her back, but we're going to go ahead and go with it. Well, then go with it. Fuck, it's just grinding,
Hmm.
and um, if there's risk, a president gets surrounded by all these experts and attorneys. I had some people who were in a meeting with the president some time back, and briefing on something that was absolutely critical. And the attorneys, well, but this and but that, and hand wringing and dithering, and look at the ceiling and their shoes and everything else. And the president looks over at the person that's in the White House with him and says, "You see this? You see that I have horrible attorneys. This is what I have for attorneys." And I would say that's the case right now. We have horrible people, horrible advice going to the president on a critical issue. You cannot allow that Tina Peters is sacrificed on the altar of bureaucracy. And we love President Trump. Look, I mean, this is an amazing moment in American history. Get Tina Peters out. The rest of it becomes much less useful, valuable, important if you do it over her dead body.
Juan, I mean, I totally just hear the passion in this, and the thing that just really bothers me is it just gets into this bureaucracy thing where there's just the problem that we've all faced the past 8 years, 10 years, and this should have been a slam dunk. If does it lie in the DOJ? Does it lie in the? I mean, it's almost like I pick up the phone, call down there, and say, just get her out, and then, I mean, don't worry about anything.
Well, I mean, let me help everybody out though here. The president has. He's done it privately and publicly several times. And for all sorts of valid, important reasons, people have decided that really doesn't work right. Let me help everybody out a little bit. Um, let's just say that certain people in some position of authority did act and put something forward, and Tina's out. Uh, Great. Well, Trump's there and everything else. They're everybody's hero. And then the warning to some of these people is, but the politics always change. They all keep coming back. Trump's not going to be in power forever. You're a young man. You still got a career ahead of you. Lawyers, they practice, till they're 100 because they're getting money on all these cases that they've, shut down years and years before. They want to stay alive. They get a piece of the action for their law firm and all that. So they want to stay viable. And so the belief is that you end up being a pariah or not able to practice, or something comes down the road later and now you're going to be uh, victimized somehow. So they're a little hesitant to put their reputations out on the line and things like that. And there's a certain moment, God himself says the cup of his vindication is full. And then he acts. Sometimes he seems slow to act. He waits till the cup is full. Well, in this case here with Tina, the cup's full. I don't need to wait any longer. I don't want to see us wait any longer. I don't think it's appropriate. I mean, we're in our own camp here. I'm not talking to CNN and MSNBC and all. I'm talking to our tribe here. Isn't it correct? Isn't it time to, stop this and get it done? I think it is. We need to act. We need our leader to act. President Trump was voted into office for a reason, to stop this and to protect us and our own from unlawful, horrid, um, you know, actions against us. Okay, well, get in there and act. That's where I'm at.
Juan, where's this at with the executive orders 1318, 1348? Foreign enemies within the land and domestic, you know, interfering with our elections, and then crimes against humanity. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, where's the U.S. Marshals? Where's our military? I mean, these are, in my eyes, these are terrorists. These are not. This is not a state entity. This is not a county entity. These are terrorists. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, um, you know, these people prosecuted Tina to be a threat to anybody else that would ever, um, go in there to challenge elections like that. When they did, they had their team in power. They're no longer in power, and justice is coming. You have several grand juries going on. Grand juries are secret. You have several grand juries, though, that have been impaneled and are hearing testimony already on stuff related to the 2020 election. And it's going to continue to build. The Gitmo stuff is already, forming up at this point in time. People don't want to hear that necessarily, but it's very, very, very true. So with that in mind, what's coming. There is angles that you can bust Tina loose. She has an appeal that is to her sentence. It's going to be heard in January. The people that have looked at the circumstances, the appeal itself, are very comfortable that Tina is going to have her conviction overturned. In a normal case of this type, it's very, very, very common to allow the person to be out on bail pending their appeal. And the reason is because if it looks like somebody's going to win on appeal and have the case overturned, if you've incarcerated them for weeks, months, years, and then they win on appeal, it was all unjust. What are you going to pay Tina if it turns out that her conviction is overturned? She wins on appeal, as most everybody that's looked at this agree is going to happen. What kind of damages could you give her that would equate to a month of her year of her life? Oh, by the way, it's not the year that she's been incarcerated, over a year. It's the 5 years that she's been in this fight under the gun, under threat of, the prosecution, the jury trial, all the other stuff. What's that worth? And other things that they've done to her, taking her husband out of a care facility and moving him all the way to Arkansas, and she can't travel, and she has to be back for court stuff and all sorts of things. You know, they ways they can mess with you, and they have. They've enjoyed putting it to Tina Peters. At this point, it's it's a reflection on us as a community. We can't somehow prevail on our leadership to do what they said they were going to do. Or now, Peter, uh, free Tina Peters, uh, a victim of this, election fraud 2020. It's all about 2020. It's all about 2020 and the 2020 and the election fraud. Okay, well, if you know that, and then if they're not going to let her go, and you do have ways to do it, which the president does. They're not common, but there's several where he can take the action. He just isn't getting the right advice from the attorneys that are around him. Oh, no, we got it. It's going to get taken care of. Bullshit. Done. I wouldn't let that phone line cool down for an instant. I'd keep the White House 1000% in your sights. And why do I say the White House? Look, I love President Trump, but he needs to know that we as a community, I don't care about the rest of America, we as a community understand what this means, and we don't want this on our souls. There's sins of commission, things people do, and there's sins of omission. I don't want to be standing by waiting while Tina is sacrificed on this altar of bureaucracy on our side. Sacrificed in this altar of bureaucracy. We don't need a dead icon. She is iconic. I want her as a live icon. I want to enjoy that she gets to see the fruits of her labors and sacrifices to this point in time, as the very things that she warned about are exposed, because they did do it. They stole the election. They did it through the electronics in part, a significant part, and she caught it, and for all of us. And we want to see justice for us through her. A justice for Tina is a justice for us. An injustice against Tina is an injustice to us as a community. Get her out. Just figure it out. That's all I'm saying. The president needs to get everybody on the phone. Stop everything else. You want to stop stuff in Ukraine. You want to stop stuff in Venezuela. We're going after all the monsters everywhere. Take 15 minutes. Get everybody on the phone. Okay, what are we doing? Give me the correct options. Who's going to write the paperwork up? I want her out now. Not another week, not another month. Right now. Am I saying it wrong? You guys get it, right?
No,
So one thing I was going to say, and on the immediate side, real quick, on the immediate side, our audience then can the immediate thing we could be doing is calling the White House, calling it, because I'm like you. It's almost like, let's send paratroopers in there and let's we have our own militia. Let's go there. Let's get. I mean, we were tired of the bureaucracy of we got to go and we got to do. No, let's somebody go in there and just grab her and let's get her out and then we'll take care of her. It's almost to that point.
Well, let me just tell everybody. Look, there is ways that the president can intervene. There have been a number of articles, great articles with people that have put it out to the public. Look, the president can do this, he can do this. Here's historic precedents. Here's why. Here's what the law says, blah, blah, blah. The president isn't operating like a king. He doesn't create stuff out of thin air. He has to have people that bring him the right options, and then he chooses amongst those options. They need to bring it to him, and then he just has to make a decision because such a great injustice is being done. Um, she's a political prisoner. He's articulated it. Uh, People around him don't see a path forward. Look, you're president of the United States. You have that power. There's stuff that may not get exercised frequently, but you know the true nature of the situation. And the president's going to issue an executive order and declare a national emergency around elections. And he can get Tina out at that point in time. And even if it's only days away before that declaration is made, you're anticipating that, you know where you're going to go. Get her out on anything else you want to do just to buy her that extra few days and then grandstand then. One of the things that is one of the most grinding things is when you have people in positions of political power who are grandstanding when life and limb is on the line to own a moment and get the press and everything else. Trump isn't doing that. There's probably very legitimate reasons and logic for the way that he's proceeding. However, we also know that Tina's situation, even if she's presenting as at least staying halfway viable, she still walks around, even if she's got to sit down because she's so exhausted. She was so having such a hard time breathing last week that early in the week that she couldn't even get up to go call anybody, let them know that she's still alive. Uh, she barely, could move around. She's recovered a bit since then, but she is struggling hard. And I had somebody that I spent time with years ago, and I thought, okay, he's going to make it another 6 months or so, and he's doing pretty good, and we'll keep fighting through, try to get him back to healthy. But he looked like he had at least several months of fight left him, and I get the call the next morning, expired overnight. Uh, People get fragile. She's 70 years old. We don't have the luxury of uh, rolling the dice for one of our own. Get her out while she has enough runway to get her health back, and don't wait until it's you're taking into the ICU somewhere with people that don't really care, that have to take a couple of days to decide if it's bad enough you even got to go to the ICU. Get her out. Figure it out.
Juan, President Trump stood on the stairs in 2017 and told us this wasn't a transfer of power from one administration to another or from one party to another, but a transfer of power back to we the people. And I wanted to say that because this is what you're asking us right now, is we the people need to flood the phone lines at the White House. And I'm going to give you that number right now. It's area code 202 456 1414. 202 456 1414. This is where we the people, as Anna says, we're the new royal house of we the people. We can flood the phone lines and tell President Trump and his administration, we've had enough. We've had enough. Get Tina out. So I just wanted to say that. Anna, did you want to say something?
Well, I'm thinking about what we are going to do here in Brazil on behalf of all of us here, and we are coming with an idea. I have something. I'll put together a letter written with my commitment and all the people that is in my channel, in our channel here in Brazil, in South America, to do it, and I'll contact. Let with me, guys. Let it with me. It will be all
Can I
be
can I
fine.
add one thing, Anna? Let me
Sure, of
interrupt you for
course.
just a moment. I
Oh,
want to,
please.
and here's why this is so important across the globe, even here with Tina's plight, consider what we're doing. See, the people that stole the election in 2020 and put Biden into office, they did that from outside the United States and with stolen technology, ballots, etc. The specific steal in 2020 was done from Serbia. And with the aid, assistance, involvement of U.S. Uh, uh, persons, citizens. And by the way, the test of the system before the U.S. elections, because see, they were doing it from Venezuela next to you down in Brazil. That had been the home where all of this was being done from with these vote machines. And by the way, the machines were not invented, created solely there in Venezuela. They had three-letter agency assistance from people inside of CIA here in the United States, MI6 in London, and a handful of other countries that were messing around to make sure they could control votes around the world. Now, we have the people in physical protective custody in the United States right now who did that theft in 2020. What they have in their affidavits and what they've been testifying to, and they've already begun within grand juries here in America. You'll hear more about that at some point in the not too distant future. What they've testified to is that they didn't just cook the vote in the United States, they cooked the vote in 71 countries plus the United States. 71 countries have people in power, in leadership, not just at the top of the ticket, but all down through the ticket. Congressmen, senators, judges, lots of people that were there through election fraud, vote fraud, and these are criminals who they counterfeit votes as opposed to counterfeiting money because it's actually cheaper and it's more valuable. A counterfeit vote can be used to redirect the money to their friends, their buddies, their projects, their families. And that's what's been going on. So, why this is so important, why I wanted to say that, President Trump is going to see to it that justice is done in America, that we get back to an honest vote in America. It's the most important thing he will have done in public life. The thing that he wants to be remembered for amongst above everything else, number one, is he returned honest elections to America. The executive order that he's about to sign, which the basics of that my team put together, 17 page. It's out there in the public. You can see it. We'll see how much of that's used in the final decision. But the core of that or that executive order is one day, not weeks and weeks and weeks of a vote, where the only people that can participate in counting the votes are people with no job or that are on some type of government assistance or something. Regular citizens are going to be able to participate because it's a one-day thing. They'll go to a little training, a few weeks in advance. They'll sign up, they'll be there, and you'll have a one-day vote. Hand counted paper ballot, not one machine anywhere. No machines at all, not to tabulate, not to communicate, nothing. Hand count, paper ballot, physical ballot, counted where cast. No ballots get transported safely in the trunk of a police car, safely by all the firemen in town, safely in grandma's knitting basket. Okay? Not happening. Counted where cast. Nothing gets moved around. Posted from that precinct right there. Not sent to some central location and then counted, posted right there for everybody to see. And to start things out, clean voter rolls. We're not going to use any of the existing voter rolls. They're completely compromised. They cannot be fixed in time for our 2026 election. Can't be trusted. You have too many people on there that should never, ever, ever. They never existed. They aren't real voters. They're not U.S. citizens. We're going to have all the people who want to vote in the next election re-register to vote with government-issued ID, proof of where they live within the different districts, so that they're voting at the right place. New voter rolls. This executive order is very, very, very comprehensive, and it's all going to be done in the context of a national election emergency, because the elections are cooked. We have to do something to protect the next election and the one after that while we're working out new systems. So hand count, paper ballot, counted where cast, 1 day vote, clean voter rolls starting from fresh. When that happens, that's the most important thing that President Trump, will have done in his entire time in public office, and he knows it. When he does that, there's nothing else that he will ever have done or do which is more important. Why? Because now you can actually get the person that you want into office with an honest election. The people's voice will be heard. It won't be overwritten. It won't be frauded. It won't be the globalista. And then whatever you get, you get. You know, you want to take the country off the rails. You want to go into socialism, do whatever else. Well, it's on us. It's we voted for it, but it'll be us voting for it, not somebody else frauding a vote for us. That ties to when America does that, we make America great again. We, the American people, get control of our own government again. And there's a scripture, judgment begins in the house of the Lord. So when God is going to do something in the world, he doesn't start, out in the rest of the world. He starts in the house of the Lord, in the church. In our country, within the vote, we're going to start within America. We're doing a lot of stuff around the world, but we're going to do it here first. And then we're going out to the rest of the world and help the rest of the world to get their elections on track again, their leaders, that their people vote, so we can make Brazil great again, so we can make Venezuela great again, so we can make South Africa, where they tested this system. When they shipped off everybody over to Serbia and set up the server farm in Serbia because Venezuela was falling off the rails, the first place they tested the new system wasn't in America. They couldn't take a chance on not getting it right. They tested it in South Africa. That's how Ramaphosa got into power, who, by the way, has been working very closely with Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, etc. So we will have to go out and help the rest of the world, including Brazil, after we have shown how you do it here in America and begin to correct our own house. We don't want to go like we know what to do in Brazil and we can't even do it here at home. We're going to fix it here at home. That's these next steps. And then we're not going out to lord it over the rest of the world. We're not out there to enslave the rest of the world. We're not going out there to be our brother's keeper. We're going to go out to the rest of the world and be our brother's brother. Okay? Our sister's brother. America's going to go out there. We're going to help others to get their countries great again at their local level. We want strong, healthy partners, not weak, rattled, doddering partners. We want beautiful people protecting their situation also, so we can work together from strength, not from weakness with weak leadership that's beholding and bought and paid for by these globalista. Does that make sense for you guys?
Yeah, Juan, I'm in the belly of the beast here in Illinois, and we know that firsthand in terms of the corruption. I think it birthed here in Illinois, and it goes all the way back. And I think the most exciting thing somebody could see is a pencil and a ballot and no computer, no Wi-Fi, nothing. And you want to see how this state, I mean, our governor right now that's in office now was corruptly put in there in 2022, in that same fashion that was done in 2020. And so I think the birthing spot of that, when we can actually see what our country could look like in those instances where we will truly honestly see that how red we are. And I don't mean that from a Republican standpoint. I mean that from an American standpoint. We are truly red. When you look at the map from 2020, that truly is what that would represent, visually to somebody. That's power.
Yep. Well, and by the way, I'm about to lose my battery here, and I don't have a charger for it. So if I drop off, it's because my phone died. Wasn't aliens abducted me or anything.
No worries.
Illinois has always been a conservative. It's like a number of the states around it: Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, Iowa. It's a place like that where there's been a level of criminality that is over the top, going back to the Daley regimes and Capone and all that. The people have had to live within that captured environment. When you get honest elections, like what President Trump is going to set up, Illinois is going to go hard red because it has been red. It is red. It's only because of the frauds that it looks the way it does right now. And you'll get laws starting to change and people in other places of leadership changing. And I love that area of the world, by the way. I could tell you stories about Illinois and some of the areas in there. So it's one of the places I actually have a lot of affection for. So anyway, I should let you guys go. I'll let you continue to do it. I think we keep the pressure on. And by the way, you got the phone line there. Their phone lines officially are only open to take calls 10 to 3 Eastern. Okay. And then they do take calls outside of that. But it's not like it's an official recorded, we'll give the president a message type phone line. You can email 24 hours a day. I think we need to make our feelings known and stay right on it. All the other stuff, to me, pales if we can't win this type of a victory. It's Pyrrhic, it's we're going to have a great Viking funeral for this wonderful patriot somewhere down the road. No, we're not. Go save her while we're not leaving somebody to bleed out on the battlefield.
Yep.
There's something emblematic. It says something about us that we aren't willing to just stand by when we know the facts so well now, and we're learning more every day. It's a timing issue. She is in a more vulnerable spot than most people realized, even the good guys. If the plan was to come take care of it and we're pretty close, and in a worst case scenario, we do this, something drastic, I think drastic is here. And so we courteously, respectfully, gratefully, I am so grateful to have President Trump in this fight. I am so grateful for his clarity of thought and mind. He's been very clear. But at this point now, somebody isn't getting it. They're trying to stick with the last plan. Let's get on to the next plan and let's just get it done. And I don't want to dither. I don't think it's appropriate to dither any longer. And I'm just asking, if it was your mom, Remington, if he was here alive right now in this physical world, how would he plead? How would he act? Who would he be, banging them down the door on? How many of his SEAL friends and buddies would be right there beside him? And so he's not here to fight for his mom. Gold Star moms, we shoulder up and protect them and aid and assist them. And now's the time. And we've waited a long time. Nobody's going off the rails, ranting, yelling, whining, fussing, except that it's appropriate right now. Somebody's not hearing, or they're a little slow to react. And that's not appropriate. Sometimes it is appropriate to yell. Sometimes it is appropriate to put on your pointy toed boots and kick somebody in the ass hard enough that it freaking tears the freaking jeans and leaves a freaking mark that they're not going to forget 20 years from now. Yep. Okay? Kick them in the ass. Let's go.
Juan, can I say something before you go?
Yeah.
And I want you to comment on it. For all those that are listening right now, the enormous responsibility it is for us to get Tina out of jail. All this money that's everyone's talking about coming to us, none of that matters if we don't have a foundation of a country where we can't call out the evil of fraud, especially in our elections. And for everyone that hears my voice, I want you to look at your children, look at your neighbors' children, your community children, your grandchildren. And I want President Trump to hear my voice too. What footprint are we going to leave here on this earth when we leave here if we allow all this shit to fall on to our children and our grandchildren? It's our responsibility to put up a fight, and Tina's put up that fight, and she represents every single one of us. Can you comment on that, please, Juan?
Well, she is iconic. When you have people that are iconic, she's a trailblazer. She did what needed done when nobody else seemed to get it. You go across the whole country, 2,500 counties in America with election clerks, and only Tina and just a couple of other people did it, and she paid the biggest price of all of the ones that did make a copy of their election machines. Hers was in many ways the most important for various reasons. She stands out. She stood out, and now we need to stand out and stand up. And there's a lot of things you could fight for that are all important right now. But in this one, someone's life is on the line, their health is on the line, and she's already paid the price, and we've been patient to get to the right thing. President Trump's come out 4 times, free Tina Peters. Get her out. He's told the people that are supposed to do this behind the scenes, just figure it out and get her out. Well, they're not apparently able to do that. So leadership is, you step in, you get everybody on the freaking phone, get them in the room, whatever you got to do. Okay, nobody leave till we figure this out. There's nothing else more important. Before you start the invasion of Venezuela, before you go work a deal with Ukraine, just take a few minutes, figure this out, get this one person free, because she will and needs to be part of the educational system beyond this. And we need her alive for people to know just how brutal, how evil these people are when they're at Gitmo. and remember what they were willing to do to a 70-year-old Gold Star mom. So when they're whining and moaning about their food isn't as good as they like it, and they hate these orange jumpsuits and they wanted one with flowers, okay, uh, and how mean everybody is in jail, the guards and everybody else. Yeah, I want them to remember what they did to Tina. I want Tina to be able to relate it firsthand. We need her voice in our lives going forward as we go for this victory. And it will be a Pyrrhic victory. It will be a hollower victory without Tina to enjoy it with us.
Yep.
Thank you, Juan. Yeah, you've been a tremendous leader in this spiritual war we've been in, and we're all honored and we're thankful for you and many of the other patriots. And we share your messages on other channels, and we're thankful for all the knowledge and wisdom that you've shared with us, and we want to continue our relationship with you moving forward.
Well, let me just interject one thing here too, by the way. Win or lose in this situation with Tina, this is a team effort. No one person is going to get to claim victory or defeat in this situation. All of those that are here praying, everybody that's, didn't want to be not counted before God, to have called or done something, taken some kind of, proactive action, even if it's just the prayers that only God himself hears. When Tina is free, and I believe she will be because we're going to prevail, no one broadcaster or group or attorney, even President Trump himself, will not be able to, I have done this, I have freed Tina. No, it is an act of God intervention, even to raise up all the people to come together to get this done as a group. We're working this together, and we own this together. Whatever happens, if we don't prevail, we own it. I want
We'll
to own it
prevail.
on the right side of history. Let me say a quick prayer before I lose you.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Thank you, Juan.
Father God, I thank you for Tina. I thank you for President Trump. I thank you for every person here. We pray for divine assistance to get to the right answer, the right conclusion, the right outcome. And we are sensitive to our weakness individually, and that we need some type of divine action, divine assistance that no man can own individually, but shows your hand in this situation, an answer to our prayers. We pray for Tina that you would give her strength in her physical body, clarity in her mind, and that in her spirit she would be girded stronger than titanium to be able to hold out in this crushing situation, that you would bring her out whole and we would enjoy her for many, 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 many years in this community, and be able to express directly to her in this world our thanks for her boldness and her proaction in this election stuff, and to show the criminality of these people getting into power and holding power who are not the will of the people. We thank you that we even get the opportunity to laud and have someone like Atina in our midst to be a beacon, and that you've worked in her life to bring her to this point. And now we pray for her protection. We ask for favor from you, that you would send your angels in her behalf and to strengthen her and keep her safe while these next moves are made, and that you would give President Trump great advisors and inner fortitude, strength of determination clarity of mind to do exactly the right next thing to secure Tina's physical safety and to keep her to assist in bringing justice in America according to your will, Father God. Thank you for this place, this opportunity to share and be present with other patriots, people valiant for justice sake, not just here in America, but across the world. And I pray for Brazil and the other countries around it and the leadership there, that even things we do from America will greatly help assist and strengthen those patriots in Brazil who are seeking to get their leadership, not the selected leadership of the criminals, of the devil himself, but your leadership that you have appointed and anointed into power over your people, your church, that we would live in liberty and in justice according to your will, where we do justly and enjoy a just life, an environment where our children can grow up and be strong and healthy and wise and beautiful and give glory to you, Father God. We thank you for all these opportunities. We thank you for the camaraderie of all those present here, and ask that you would expand our borders as a people seeking righteousness, seeking justice, seeking your way. We ask all of this in your name, Father God, by the blood of Christ, make it so. Amen.
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 Thank you, Juan.
Thank you, Juan. We will let you go. And I already messaged, I emailed the White House as a woman. As a woman in Brazil, I offer her my support, of course, and I emailed the White House directly to President Trump. Many people here in Brazil are already listening to us. We are doing the same, elegantly and following the right steps. We are supporting her, and not just because it's United States first, but because we are doing humanity great again. And most of all, we are not United States or Brazil or Portugal. No, we all are human beings having this life experience, and I'm very happy that we are able to choose. To choose. We still are able to choose. Anyway, I pass to you, Cranker.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank everyone. So this has been an honor to talk with Juan again. And I ask everyone again to grab a pen and paper. The White House number is 202-456-1111. 202-456-1111 or 1414. Leave a message, free Tina Peters. So thanks everyone for your time, and we appreciate all of you. And we'll put those numbers and the email address in the recording underneath. So good night, everyone. God bless you.
My name is James McCrank. I would like to ask the board a question. Are you guys familiar with the Nassar Act? Are you familiar with it? You're not familiar.
Can't say that I am, but we generally don't respond, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's important that we do get response, because we're not getting any response, and that's why we're all here. The bottom line is this. The United States of America Corporation is dead. Trump killed it 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That flag doesn't represent us. That gold fringe around that flag is the signature of the corporation. And the reason that the media is not reporting it, The reason you guys aren't showing up, our sheriff isn't showing up, are you guys part of the corporation or are you part of America? Because everyone here is standing up for our rights. What legacy are you guys going to leave behind for your grandchildren and your kids? And I'm surprised that there ain't thousands of people here tonight. Either we got to do the right thing here, audit these elections, or the military is going to come in and do it. And if they do it, people are going to jail.
Through the storm, our birthrights that the bankers stole, they engineered each crash. They filled their vaults with the people's gold as they printed paper cash. A casino called the stock exchange, where the gambling begins. An investment tool to tempt the fool, where the dealer always wins. In this corporate world of government, where nothing's what it seems, your pathway set with every step to a grave of broken dreams. Unlearning everything we knew is a painful place to dwell, as a wizard sits controlling you behind his hidden veil. A global world agenda set by the deep and darkest state. They're puppets dancing on a string to divide the world with hate. The American dream and our flag of hope, they never let us be. We will serve each other under God in the land of the brave and free. We all saw our world collapsing.
The next thing that's got to fall are these failed, corrupt institutions. And when God Almighty sits and takes that judgment seat, it's over. So do what you can to improve the terrain until there is freedom.
We are the people, we are sovereign, moving forward through the storm. Don't be afraid and hold the line. In the royal house we stand. Like McKinley, Lincoln, Kennedy, we were told to trust the plan. The grandmasters playing 5D chess, they all know the art of war. Real generals on this battlefield led the Anons through the door. Information is the biggest threat in our search to find the proof. Such patriots we won't forget, who all dared to share the truth. We once stood alone against the beast, but united we will fall. When we go one, we go alone. But when together we go all. Oh yeah. Through the storm.
Guys, are we
Stop the
all?
recording, Mike. Did you stop the live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we off the live?
Yes, we are live. We are free of cameras. We are live. We are here.
We're no longer live.
No, you're.
Okay,
I
good.
think we are okay. It's being sent to YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
It's processing over there, probably. Well, I already messaged the White House. I don't know. It's so easy to do that. Why didn't we think about something like this? We get stuck in the idea of a movie that even the movie, well, we need to do something because they need to have us, right? I thought, oh my God.